Hi, let me ask you a question. Are you truly free to enjoy your life? Do you have all the time to do whatever you wanted? Do you have the money to make it possible? Do you have good health? All these things are important to success lifestyles. So what is a success lifestyle? Well, to give you an idea, people keep asking me, when will you retire? And I ask them a question in return. I say, why? And they say, well, so you can do whatever you want to do, when you want to do it. And I reply, well, I've been doing that for the past 25 years. You see, I regard a success lifestyle as being able to do what you want, when you want, why you want, and with whoever you want. Now, I've had this lifestyle, as I said, for about 25 years, but it wasn't always that way. But I'm not going to give you a rags to riches story. What I am going to give you is a breakthrough story. A story about changing from me being a high income earner to a person pursuing a happy, successful lifestyle. You see, I was brought up in a working class home in Manchester in England. I went to a grammar school and then on to college, and I was a pretty bright student and I had no trouble passing exams. I got a job, and at the age of 18 I was earning as much as my father, who was in his 50s. By the time I was 20 I was making twice his wages. So as I said, this is not a rags to riches story. You see, by the age of 25 I was living in Bermuda with a fantastic salary, all tax-free, but I wasn't happy. I was living somebody else's dream, not mine. I was living society's dream, not mine. I was living my parents' dream, not mine. You see, it's not their fault. They had struggled all their lives to make ends meet and to put food on the table and pay the rent. And they didn't want me to be the same. They wanted me to have the best that life could offer. And to them, they thought that was getting good qualifications and having a good job. They just didn't know anything other than that. They wanted the best for me. But it wasn't my dream. It was theirs. I mean, what is success? Is success having a big mortgage so you can own a big house? Is success going into debt to drive a flashy car? Is success saving all year to go on a dream vacation so that you can escape the reality of your life for a few weeks? Is success working many hours a day, never having the time to spend with your children? Having so much to do and so little time? You see, it's not your fault. It's the way the system works. The system was never broken, it was built this way. You see, we grow up and it's necessary for us to have discipline in our lives. Our parents tell us what to do, then we go to school and we're told what to do and where to go, what to learn. We go from school to perhaps higher education, where once again we're told what to do. Then we get a job where again we're told what to do, where to sit, how to do it. We're never taught how to live the life that we want and dream about. And the reason's simple. Not many people know how to live that life. There are few people that break through and break away from the system. And they become household names. They become leaders of industry. They become like Richard Branson, for example. He started from nowhere, but he had a different view and he wanted to make his dream his own, not somebody else's. But I digress. To get back to my story, I left my job in Bermuda and I went bumming around really, heading overland from New York and making towards Buenos Aires, where I had a friend who was working as a teacher. But something happened on my way through Guatemala. I met the love of my life, and we were married within 7 days of being together. So I thought I'd better take my wife home to England to show the family. And I got home in England and I started looking for a job. But I didn't want to go back to work in an office. I hated it. I was very good at it. I was successful. I could make a lot of money. But I didn't enjoy it. So I tried many other things. I tried lots of different jobs. I was a fireman, a turkey farmer, I had different odd jobs. And eventually I met somebody who was making at that time about 3 or 4 times the annual salary, the average wage in the country, about 3 or 4 times. And he was working in the evenings, knocking on doors, selling insurance. So I thought, well, maybe I should give it a try. And I did. I got this job knocking on doors selling insurance. And I was pretty good at it. And I was making good money, double or treble the average wage at the time. But the hours were unsocial hours. It was working every evening. I was going out of the house at 6 o'clock and not getting back home till midnight. I had no social life. And my wife was working during the day. We hardly ever saw one another. So I looked around for something else, and then I got a job with Xerox, selling office equipment. And I was again very successful, but now making about 10 times the average wage at the time. Plus I had a car, expenses, all the perks. Money to me was at that time like monopoly money. It was always available by the handful. But when you're making big money, there's often high stress level with it. You have targets and goals that are set for you. You're pushed into doing things at the level that your employer wants. So my wife and I looked for something different. We looked for a solution. And we started in business of our own, buying a small pet shop. And we built that to different pet shops and a wholesale business, a manufacturing business. We did quite well out of it, but I got bored with it, and I gave it away to my nephew who worked for me. And I set up a new business in catering. I enjoyed cooking, and I thought, yeah, catering seems like a good idea. So I had sandwich bars, and then I had delicatessens, and we started wholesaling in that. And we were making a lot of money. But we were also working long hours. And we didn't have time to get away. In fact, we used to dream of closing for 10 days over Christmas just to take a vacation. I'm not complaining because I quite enjoyed it, but one day I got a piece of news that changed my life. In fact, it shocked me. It shocked me into realization that I needed to live for today, as tomorrow may never come. See, what happened was a friend of mine was out doing the coast-to-coast walk in England with his son. He was about my age, and he was also successful. And I learned he dropped dead suddenly from a heart attack while he was out walking with his son. It was shattering news to me. And I thought, well, there's got to be something different. There must be a better way. I started looking into things. I read personal development books. I became a fan of Tony Robbins, Vincent Peale, Zig Ziglar, Stephen Covey, Deepak Chopra, and many more. I studied how the mind works. I became a Silver Mind Method graduate. I became a master hypnotist and a certified hypnotherapist. And this progressed. We gave up our business and we retired. We took a house in the hills to the north of Manchester, and we walked the hills locally on a daily basis. And in the mornings from the top of a hill, I watched the road going into Manchester with traffic driving in there, and I was thankful that I wasn't part of that commute. We didn't have a big house and we didn't have the flash car, but we were happy. And we didn't dream of a vacation because life was one big vacation. We didn't have, as I say, massive money, so we started thinking about other things. And we got started in a new business, but it only took us a few hours a week, and we found we could make all we needed. We had the freedom to travel. We moved to the USA, living in California and then Utah. We then moved to Ireland, and then on to Italy for a couple of years before coming back to Lincolnshire in the UK, where we are now. Now we may move back to Utah or to Hawaii or New Zealand or Bali. You see, we have the freedom to choose and just go. We go somewhere, and if we like it, we have the money to buy a house. So we buy a house. And we move there, and we live there, until we want to go somewhere else. It's really as simple as that. We're totally free. We're not tied to being in one place for any reason whatsoever. We don't need to be in one place for our business. We can be where we want. We can travel where we want and live where we want. Now, I know that many of you watching this video probably have financial obligations and problems. Some of you will have debts. A lot of you will have ambitions that are unfulfilled. And most of you probably need cash to do what you want to do. Some of you may be like I was, with plenty of cash, but no time to enjoy it, no freedom, no fun in your life. Maybe it's even affecting your health, trading this time for money. You know, I know lots and lots of wealthy people who are not truly happy. Many of them envy me, but they don't somehow get it. They don't make that switch, or most of them don't, to follow and do what I'm doing and have a thoroughly enjoyable life, a success lifestyle. They live a nightmare while I live a lifestyle. Because there is a better way. There's a way where you can have all you ever dreamed of. Not just enough to pay the bills, not just enough to pay off your debts, not just enough to have a big home and a new car, not just enough to travel when and where you please. There's a way where you can have much, much more. There's a way where you can live the dream, your dream, not somebody else's. There's a way where you can have the total freedom and the fun of a success lifestyle. But there's one thing that stands in your way. It's the devil's greatest tool. And I'm going to tell you a story. It's a story about a great reporter. He was the top reporter in the world. He was well known. And one day he was approached by the devil. The devil said, "Look, I'd like you to do a story on me." And the great reporter said, "Why should I do a story on you?" And he said, "Well, I'm going to tell you all about my secrets and everything so that people can learn how great I am." And, the great reporter thought, this might be a challenge. So he agreed to do the story. And the devil took him down to hell to his secret offices. And he said, "I'm going to show you some of the things I have." And he opened doors. And he showed him weapons of destruction, guns, bombs. And the reporter said, "That's old hat. We've seen all that. We know all about it." So the devil took him further and he opened other doors. And he exposed him one by one to the 7 deadly sins. And he says, these things can break people up and damage their lives. And the reporter said, we know all about the 7 deadly sins. There's been lots written about them. You've got to give me something different. And so the devil reluctantly said, "Well, I'll take you to my number 1 area, the area where I've got the greatest tool, something that can destroy anyone's life." And he opened the door, and there the reporter saw on a pedestal a wedge. And he said to the devil, "What's this?" And the devil said, "That's the wedge of doubt. Once I am able to put the tiny point of that into somebody and start creating doubt, it works its way down and it splits them in two. It destroys their goals. It destroys their ambition. The wedge of doubt is the most powerful tool I have." And the reporter thought about it and he said, "Yeah, I can see that." And that's what the reporter wrote about. And that is the devil's greatest tool, the wedge of doubt. So don't let doubt stop you. Don't let it stand in your way. Don't let it stop you from living your dream, not society's dream, not the Joneses' dream, not your parents' dream or your teacher's dream, but your dream. You see, there's no risk and there's no failure. There's only achievement, freedom and fun once you believe in yourself. And there's no need to burn bridges. It can be done as a part-time risk-free venture without affecting your current income, without affecting your commitments, until it becomes all you need. And it can soon become a much greater income than you've ever had before, and probably more than you've ever dreamed of. And all with only 2 or 3 hours a day spent on your personal development and a little time on your business. It'll be creating positive change in your life. And because of that, it'll change the lives of your loved ones for the better and forever. More than that, it can change so many other people's lives that you come into contact with. People that you probably don't even know at this time. And it'll change their lives in ways that when you see them, it'll make you shiver with excitement. So, do what I did 25 years ago and make your breakthrough. Make the decision today to follow your dream. I can and will help you get started. And by spending just a few hours a day on routine tasks, an income of $250,000 a year is well within your grasp and can be a realistic income within the first 12 months. And remember that if you never chase your dreams, you're never going to catch them. So now's the time to get off that treadmill. Stop chasing money. You won't need to chase money because it'll start to chase you. Why not join others and myself and enjoy the freedom and fun of a true success lifestyle? Do it now. Don't delay in making your own personal breakthrough. Join me and the many others who already live our dreams. Make your breakthrough now by selecting one of the options below this video. And I'll see you on the inside and make sure that you become another success lifestyle. I recorded this video originally about 10 years ago. Today, in 2021, it still holds true. And I want you to make that breakthrough. I want you to start living your dream. I want you to find what you love in life, what you're passionate about, and to pursue it every day, enjoying life to the full. And I want to help you live your own success lifestyle. God bless.